All right, guys, so I just had my Dexa, and now I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna look at the results to see how it went. I don't think it's gonna be pretty. All right, let's do it. All right, so as we look over my Dexa scan, this is the printout that I got. And the printout basically says that I have not been taking care of myself near as well as what I should have. So let's take a look, kind of scale in a little bit. So as you look at the top, you're gonna see that my body fat percentage is 27.2, which is awful. I knew that I was gaining some weight and wasn't really taking such good care of myself over the winter, but it looks like it's been worse than I thought. So 201.5 is my total mass or my body weight. Fat tissue, I've got 52 pounds of fat and only 142 pounds of muscle. My bone mineral content was 6.9 pounds, and we'll go over that again because that was one of my biggest surprises. So one of the cool things that you get from a Dexa is you're gonna get this breakdown that's gonna show you like basically all those different areas and what the amount of fat is and total mass that you have. What you'll notice is if you look over here, you're gonna see that I carry a lot of my fat in that like android and gynoid regions, and that I carry more in the android region than the gynoid. And it describes them down here as to what they are. But the reality is that what that means is that I'm keeping more fat in my belly and not necessarily in my arms and my legs. And that's not necessarily a good thing. Now, when looking at my body mass and basically what it estimates for the amount of muscle that I have, it's saying that my resting metabolic rate, RMR, or basal metabolic rate, whichever way you want to use, is 1,741 calories. What this means is that if I do nothing all day long and I just survive, that my body is going to burn about that many calories just to stay alive. That's really important because if I drop my calories below that when I'm dieting, my body is going to go into a really bad state because it's not even getting enough energy to survive. And so I want to try to make sure that I am keeping a level of calories that's above that even when I'm on a cut. So here's that android versus gynoid that I had mentioned. In this, what you're seeing is that I'm taking a lot more of the fat in my abdominal area. My visceral fat, which is right here, that visceral fat right there, is only 1.18 pounds. It's really not too bad. Subcutaneous fat is generally thought to be more healthy than visceral fat. Visceral fat that goes along your tissues inside your abdomen and around your organs definitely is associated with a lot of other maladies as you get older, and so you want to avoid that. Here's that android versus gynoid. You'll see that you want that ratio to be more towards the gynoid and less towards android. So in other words, less than 1. Mine is just above 1. So it's not terrible, but it's not great either. All right, muscle balance report. This is really cool because what this is telling you is it's telling you, hey, do you have one side that's stronger or just has more mass than the other? What you see for me is I'm pretty uniform all the way around. So that was the only real positive here. I don't really have a stronger or weaker side or more, or one side that has more muscle mass than the other. For the most part, it's pretty much the same. That probably attributes to a lot of the fact that I do a lot of exercise that tends to have both of my feet on the ground and I'm working both sides at the same time rather than doing a ton of unilateral stuff. But I do unilateral stuff at times to compensate, and it's probably just a combination of all that. Bone density report. This is what surprised me the most. A Dexa also gives you your bone mineral density, and when we look at that, that's really important for getting an idea of just how healthy you're going to be moving forward. When we look at the T-scores here, it talks about normal, osteopenia, osteoporosis. Osteopenia is basically when your bones are getting more brittle, but they haven't really become pathological, which is what osteoporosis is. In this case, I don't have any, I'm in the normal range, but what happens is I'm actually at the low end of the normal range, which means probably that I need to go ahead and try to, get on my feet a little bit more and just be more active because I'm not giving my bones enough of a challenge due to the muscle tension on them and just due to impact and everything else. So that's a worry for me because of all the people that were tested, my bone density was actually the lowest. So that's what we gather from this report. As the wind kind of pushes it back and forth, there's, you know, some other things here. You know, when we go look at the progress and trending, we're going to come back to this when I do my next test in the summer, and we're going to see the difference, and that's going to be really exciting to see, you know, what this looks like. But for now, that's basically it. There I am. I'm definitely not where I want to be, and I don't plan on staying here. And that's the whole point of this challenge, is to basically take that step where I go from where I was at here, where I knew I hadn't been taking care of myself as well as I should because I'd been busy with other stuff. Then now I'm going to dig in and I'm going to make it happen. All right, so I hope you enjoy this. Thanks.